That failure is a part of every human being's life. To think that failure is never ever going to come to you is the first mistake. It is bound to come some point of time, even if you're riding a huge wave of success. I think it's important that at the back of your mind, you should be wary that tomorrow everything can go wrong. And whenever I think like this, I immediately think, okay, suppose I was to lose everything. What is the bottom line that would keep me comfortable? So I go back to where I was born and how I was brought home in a tonga, wrapped in a gudri, and I say, the worst is that things can't go worse than that. I'll sleep on the floor, I'll sleep on the pavement. So you look at the bottom line. If you're prepared for the worst, a lot of people can say, look, I can't do without a house with 10 bedrooms, or I need 2 cars and I need a phone, and everyone has different priorities. But I think that what I feel is that I think about the bottom line, and when it isn't too difficult to cope with, I feel very satisfied. From there on, you say, okay, this is where I am. I have to move forward. This is the worst scenario. Now I must move forward. So every day you keep pegging away, digging at something, poking at something. And even if it's a centimeter that you move forward, at least you move forward. I'm always reminded of an incident of my father's. We used to live in Delhi at Willingdon Crescent, which is near Teen Murti House, where Panditji used to stay. And at that time, the diplomatic enclave, which is now very, very habitated, was just wilderness and wild jungle. And he used to go for his morning walk in that region. And he used to leave at 3, 4 in the morning and come back at 5, 6. And he developed a taste for looking at rocks on the road and finding some kind of an image or a figure in it. And he would bring it home, and with just a stroke of a paintbrush, bring out that image, and or just leave the stone like that and say, look, this looks like a bird, or this looks like a human. And he developed this thing. One day he came back from his walk and he woke me up, as he normally would, at 6 in the morning, and say, can you just help me? I've got something which I cannot lift, so help me bring it in. So I went to the gate, and there was a huge boulder about this size. And I said, look, you can't possibly think that I can move this. So we called about 10, 20 people, and they pushed this huge boulder and brought it into our veranda where he wanted it to be put. That done, I asked him, look, this is fine, but how did this come up to the gate? So he said, I went for my walk, I saw this huge rock, I saw this shape in it, and I liked it, I wanted to move it. So every day I go, I move it 1 inch and I come back. In 3 months, it's landed up at the gate. So really, it's a great example that, if you just keep pushing something every day, it may look small, but I think the important thing is that you're moving forward. And there is some amount of satisfaction that you've done something which is somewhere giving you some satisfaction, and that eventually you will bring that huge boulder